Customized Cash Rewards Visa card. For life's rewarding moments. Earn 6% cash back in a category of your choice like online shopping for the first year from account opening.
The Dodge Copperhead.
This is my soul car from 2024 to 2025, and my soul of this car terrorized Pottstown.
Reportedly shown a dramatic new Dodge Halo car behind closed doors, and the reactions immediately sparked rumors of a modern Viper-inspired machine returning to the brand. While Dodge has not officially confirmed full details,
this is my soul car for this town, guys, and Pottstown.
According to reports, the Copperhead is expected to be a low, wide coupe with aggressive aerodynamics, massive cooling ducts, and a race car-inspired rear wing. The car reportedly carries strong Dodge SRT DNA while pushing the design much further into exotic territory. Instead of looking like a traditional muscle car, the Copperhead sounds more like an American supercar designed to compete with vehicles such as the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 and Ford Mustang GTD. One of the biggest details that grabbed enthusiasts was the presence of visible exhaust tips. That immediately fueled speculation that Dodge is still committed to internal combustion performance. Many believe the Copperhead could use a high-output twin turbocharged Hurricane inline-six engine, possibly combined with hybrid technology for massive power figures. Others still hope for a V8 surprise, although nothing has been confirmed. The design itself sounds like a modern evolution of the Dodge Viper formula. Reports describe a long hood, extremely wide stance, sharp lighting elements, and heavy use of active aerodynamic components. The rear section is said to feature a giant diffuser and a dramatic wing similar in spirit to the legendary Viper ACR. It appears Dodge wants this car to make a statement both visually and on the racetrack. The timing also makes sense. Dodge has been searching for a new Halo performance vehicle after
Halo, the best video game ever.
The Copperhead could become the emotional centerpiece of the brand and help reconnect with enthusiasts who missed the raw personality Dodge was once known for. Even though many details remain secret, the excitement around the Copperhead already feels different from a normal internet rumor. Multiple respected automotive journalists saw the car privately, and the reactions suggest Dodge may be preparing something truly wild for the next generation of American performance cars.
Welcome to
This is
Futurescope AI.
also my soul car.
Please subscribe it. You are absolutely going to want to stick around for today's explainer because we are unpacking something completely unexpected. We are looking at the highly anticipated return of a legendary American performance bloodline. We're talking about a brand new Halo car that literally sent shockwaves through a recent closed-door industry presentation. Right, so let's set the stage here. For years, every car enthusiast out there has been asking the same massive question. What on earth could possibly replace an automotive legend like the Dodge Viper? I mean, the Viper wasn't just a car. It was an absolute cultural icon. It was raw, it was completely unapologetic, and, it had that massive V10 engine.
Oh, for sure. It had a monumental footprint on car culture. It was the ultimate analog track weapon in a world that was getting way too digital. It basically demanded total respect, and honestly, a little bit of fear from anyone who got behind the wheel. So when production ended, it left this giant void. How do you follow that up without just making a watered-down tribute? Well, as we'll see, the successor is taking a really wild approach.
Section 1. Viper's Fake and Trim. To fully grasp the impact of this new vehicle, we kind of have to look at how much the whole automotive landscape has completely shifted since the Viper left us. We've seen this huge push toward electrification, hybrid systems, and smaller engines. The days of just throwing a giant naturally aspirated engine into a lightweight frame are fading fast. Let's trace the timeline here. In 1997, the first Copperhead concept debuted. Fast forward to 2017, Viper production ends. Now in 2026, we get this crazy hyper-muscle teaser, leading to an expected 2029 production release.
I actually have to jump in here, because the irony of this timeline is just amazing. Back in 1997, the Copperhead name was originally supposed to be for a lesser entry-level roadster. It was pitched as a V6 alternative, almost like a little sibling to the Viper. And now, that exact same name is being brought back to wear the absolute crown.
Talk about a serious glow-up for the Copperhead nameplate, right? But seriously, looking at almost a decade without a flagship two-door snake, the pressure on the manufacturer has been immense. I mean, they built their entire modern brand identity on this brotherhood of muscle concept. We're talking about the era of supercharged Hellcats and straight-line dominance.
Exactly. And while they've been super successful at stuffing massive horsepower into four-door family sedans and heavy SUVs, a brand with this pedigree desperately needs a true, purpose-built halo car. They can't just be known for heavy muscle anymore. They have to prove to everyone that they can still absolutely dominate a road course.
Which leads us to Section 2, a new snake emerges. This reveal was so unusual. It wasn't some flashy public auto show with dropping curtains and flashing lights. It was a surprise reveal at a major automotive investor day. The CEO is laying out the future turnaround plan and then pulls a classic one more thing move. They showed a clay model to the media, no photos allowed, and dropped this incredible quote: "A hyper muscle car to fill a white space."
And that phrase, hypermuscle, immediately set the enthusiast community on fire. What does that even mean in today's market? We are completely flooded with sleek European supercars and hypercars that use super complex hybrid systems and active aero. But I think hypermuscle means they aren't trying to build some delicate European track car. They're taking the brute force attitude of classic American muscle and dialing the aero and chassis dynamics all the way up to a hypercar level. It's a totally different flavor of extreme.
Now, achieving that hyper performance requires a really serious foundation. The Copperhead is underpinned by the STLA large platform. It's this highly flexible automotive architecture, which is fascinating, right? Because this is actually the same basic platform that's going to underpin their upcoming large sedans and crossovers. But the engineering magic here is in the flexibility. Since it was designed from the ground up to support long, low-slung, extreme performance vehicles, the engineers can stretch it and widen it to create a completely bespoke stance. It might share some hidden structural bones with a family car, but its track width and center of gravity are entirely optimized for one thing: going incredibly fast. Let's move into Section 3, Anatomy of the Copperhead. So, since cameras weren't allowed, you kind of have to imagine seeing this thing sitting under the studio lights. The executives literally joked that the paint wasn't even dry on the 3D printed buck. But the sheer presence, unmistakable. It's incredibly low, extremely long, and just looks fast even when it's standing perfectly still.
We absolutely have to talk about the massive hood S-stucked up front. Picture a sharp, aggressive shark nose fascia practically scraping the floor. But instead of a normal open grill just feeding a radiator, there's a massive S-duct carved straight through the nose, venting aggressively out the top of the hood. By channeling high-pressure air from the front bumper up and through the hood, it pushes air over the cabin, basically pinning the front tires to the tarmac. It's pure motorsport engineering at its finest.
And the aerodynamics definitely don't stop there. We're talking Viper-esque circular mirrors, a huge front splitter jutting out, these really aggressive front fender vents designed to pull turbulent air right out of the wheel wells, and a tightly integrated ducktail spoiler.
Wait, I have to interrupt on that last point, because sitting right above that ducktail is an ACR-style massive rear wing. Anyone who remembers the old Viper ACR knows that wing wasn't just a toy, it produced a literal ton of downforce at track speeds. The fact that the Copperhead is rocking a wing of that magnitude tells us everything we need to know. This is a serious apex hunting track weapon, not just a flashy highway cruiser.
Totally. And moving down the side, the design pulls off this brilliant visual trick. It utilizes mid-engine styling cues on a front-engine brawler. There are these massive sculpted vents just behind the rear doors, purely dedicated to brake cooling and managing airflow over the rear haunches.
Yeah, when you look at its profile, the way the roofline and the curved sides angle so aggressively upward toward the back, it heavily mimics the proportions of a mid-engine exotic. It tricks your eye into expecting the engine to be sitting right behind the driver, But then you look at that impossibly long, sweeping hood, and it confirms this is a classic front-engine beast through and through.
Which brings us to the back of the car. It has this highly sculpted rear profile with pinched horizontal taillights that angle inward. It gives the car this menacing, totally focused glare as it pulls away from you down a straightaway. But the absolute dead giveaway of what's powering this thing sits right below those taillights. Large, centered oval exhaust tips. In an era where everyone is hiding their exhaust behind fake bumper trim or just going fully electric, these prominent tips proudly confirm that the internal combustion engine is alive and well. You just know this thing is going to sound absolutely vicious.
No. What? Wait, Gemini and Chrome. Which of these is close to a park? Right, dog park. This might be the one. I should get a parrot.
They always say, think happy thoughts. It's easy when you're a Wendy's cookie dough frosty fusion. I'm an instant dopamine hit. Get it? Dopamine? Like cookie dough. I said like cookie dough. Happiness is a cookie dough frosty fusion at Wendy's.
You just found a real winner in the car rental game.
Get real horsepower. Rent premium cars at affordable prices from Sixt.
Yep, total no-brainer.
Sixt. Rent the car.
Eczema is unpredictable. But you can flare less?
It's such a wild styling evolution. Just look at the comparison. The 1997 Copperhead concept was this smooth, rounded, almost friendly-looking entry-level roadster. It looked like it belonged on a sunny coastal highway.
Friendly is definitely the right word for the 97 concept. But the 2029 Copperhead SRT, it is an aggressive, winged track monster. It's like the design team took the 90s stance, grafted on Viper ACR Aero, pumped it full of modern muscle attitude, and were basically given the total freedom to be, as one insider called it, completely unhinged.
That leads us perfectly into Section 4, the powertrain mystery. So we know it looks absolutely unhinged, but what's actually making it move? We've seen those exhaust tips, so we know it's going to make glorious noises. But the manufacturer has been incredibly tight-lipped about the exact engine specs, which naturally just fuels the enthusiast speculation machine. On one side, you have the old guard longing to the historic massive 8.4-liter naturally aspirated V10 from the Viper. Purists just love that unique howling exhaust note and incredibly linear power delivery. I get the nostalgia for the V10,
it's like
I really do.
the Viper version of a Porsche 918 Spider. What more could you ask for? What you bitching about?
Potentially with
this
some
is
hybrid
fucking
systems.
awesome.
A supercharged V8, especially one developed by the SRT team, would offer this violently aggressive torque curve that a naturally aspirated engine just cannot match at low RPMs.
Ford,
Plus,
Chevy, and Dodge using the 6.2 and the Viper killed them off, adding hybrid technology to it.
There's one major number we have to consider. 777. That is the horsepower currently being generated by this manufacturer's top-tier supercharged V8 in one of their performance trucks. Let that sink in for a second. 777 horsepower. Putting that staggering amount of power into a highly aerodynamic, low-slung, lightweight track chassis, the power-to-weight ratio is going to be absolutely terrifying in the best way possible. It would immediately make it one of the most potent street-legal cars ever produced in America, capable of running down multi-million-dollar hypercars. And it absolutely needs that power when you look at the fierce American competition right now. If the Copperhead lands with an estimated 777 horsepower supercharged V8, it is stepping into a cage match. You've got the Corvette Z06 with its screaming 5.5-liter flat-plane crank V8 that revs to the moon, and the heavily rumored Mustang Dark Horse SC with its own supercharged setup.
It is just a phenomenal time for American performance. The Z06 is basically a precision scalpel on the track. The Copperhead, with its hyper muscle philosophy and brutal low-end torque, sounds much more like a precision-guided sledgehammer. It's going to be amazing to watch these two entirely different philosophies battle it out for apex supremacy and lap records.
You know, I absolutely love this quote from the executive at the reveal. Sometimes you don't ask what the fuel economy is.
That is just brilliant. It perfectly captures the unapologetic spirit of this whole project. The entire auto industry is currently obsessed with drag coefficients for EV range and charging network efficiency, and then here is the Copperhead, existing purely for raw, unadulterated, passionate performance. You don't buy a winged 700-plus horsepower track monster to worry about your carbon footprint on your commute. You buy it to feel the G-forces in your chest and listen to that supercharger whine.
Moving on to Section 5, Arrival and Expectations. Okay, let's bring the conversation back down to reality for a second. We've drooled over the clay model and all this theoretical horsepower, but what should buyers actually expect for a release? The roadmap from the Investor Day targets these new vehicles hitting the streets before the end of the decade, so we're looking at a 2029 or maybe 2030 arrival. But the number that's going to catch everyone's attention is an estimated starting price of $100,000.
Yeah, that price point definitely provides a bit of sticker shock. But we have to put it into context and look at why a true Halo car commands.
It's a fucking Porsche 918 for $100,000. Stop bitching.
Immense cooling demands
like,
for a
damn,
muscle
dude.
engine and the bespoke suspension tuning.
That's like a steal.
Fortune to develop. And if you look at the Corvette Z06, which easily pushes past the six-figure mark with just a few options, $100,000 for a flagship American supercar is actually right in line with the current market reality.
And it's really important to realize that the Copperhead isn't just some one-off vanity project. It's part of a much broader SRT revival strategy. They are introducing a new entry-level GLH crossover to bring younger buyers into the performance fold, releasing a refreshed Durango, and promising SRT performance variants across their entire future lineup.
Exactly. It's all about the halo effect. The Copperhead is the absolute crown jewel of this massive brand-wide performance revival. By showing that the engineering team still possesses the sheer madness required to build the world's wildest track cars, it makes the everyday consumer way more excited to buy their sporty crossovers and sedans.
So, that brings us to one final, highly provocative question to wrap up today's explainer. Can the Copperhead truly fill the Viper's legendary shoes?
That is a massive challenge. The Viper was entirely defined by its raw danger and that massive howling V10. The Copperhead seems to be trading a little bit of that unpredictable analog danger for sheer calculated hypermuscle capability and massive aerodynamic grip. Will it have the exact same legendary soul? I guess we won't really know until the rubber finally hits the tarmac. But we are dying to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Is the Copperhead a worthy successor, or does the Viper stand completely alone? Thanks for...
What if that beach view they promised just got 100 times better? Welcome back to the Car Future. Today, we're taking an exclusive deep dive into one of the most exciting muscle car revivals.
Bringing back the Roadrunner, baby.
The all-new 2027 Plymouth Roadrunner, a legendary name from the golden age of American performance, returns with a bold modern design, powerful performance, advanced technology, and the unmistakable spirit that made the original Roadrunner an icon. In today's video, we'll explore every detail of this stunning machine, from the exterior design to the interior, performance, pricing, and whether this could become the ultimate modern muscle car. As we approach the front of the 2027 Plymouth Roadrunner, it's immediately clear that designers wanted to honor the heritage of the classic model while bringing it firmly into the future. The front fascia is aggressive, wide, and intimidating. Dominating the nose is a large, blacked-out grille that stretches across the front end, giving the car a commanding road presence. The grille features subtle honeycomb detailing along with illuminated Roadrunner badging that instantly catches attention at night. The headlights are slim, sharp, and feature advanced matrix LED technology. Their angular design gives the car a modern and predatory appearance. Integrated daytime running lights create a unique signature that makes the Roadrunner instantly recognizable from a distance. Below the headlights, large air intakes improve cooling and aerodynamics while emphasizing the car's performance-focused character. The hood is one of the standout features. It includes a massive functional air scoop inspired by classic Roadrunner models, but updated with active airflow management systems. Strong muscular lines extend from the hood toward the windshield, creating an aggressive stance even when the car is standing still. The lower splitter adds aerodynamic efficiency while giving the front end a race-inspired appearance. Moving to the side profile, the 2027 Plymouth Roadrunner perfectly captures the essence of a modern muscle car. The proportions are dramatic, featuring a long hood, wide body, short rear deck, and an athletic stance. Every angle communicates power and speed. Large 21-inch forged alloy wheels fill the wheel arches beautifully.
Look at that ass.
The wheels feature a unique
That
Performance
Asus
design
is
with black and
gorgeous.
polished finishes that compliment. The car's muscular bodywork. Behind them
It's
sit
got like a
massive,
McLaren
high-performance brake
spoiler.
systems with brightly colored calipers that highlight the vehicle's sporting intentions. The character lines running along the doors create a sense of motion, even when parked. Sculpted side skirts improve airflow and add visual aggression. The widened fenders provide room for larger tires, while giving the Roadrunner a planted and muscular appearance. Flush-mounted door handles enhance aerodynamics and contribute to the clean, futuristic design. One of the most attractive details is the roofline. It slopes smoothly toward the rear.
I don't think a
creating
girl's
fastback
butt can
silhouette
look that
that
good.
blends classic muscle car proportions
I've
with modern
seen
sports car
my
elegance,
heyday.
available contrasting roof colors and heritage-inspired graphics. Further enhanced customization options. Now let's move to the rear, where the Roadrunner continues to impress. The back end is wide, muscular, and unmistakably American. Full-width LED taillights stretch across the rear fascia, creating a striking light signature during nighttime driving. The animated lighting sequences add a premium touch whenever the vehicle is locked or unlocked. The integrated rear spoiler improves stability at high speeds while maintaining the car's sleek design. The rear bumper incorporates an aggressive diffuser that enhances aerodynamics and gives the vehicle a race-inspired appearance. Large dual exhaust outlets remind everyone that this is a true performance machine. Roadrunner badging is prominently displayed across the trunk lid, while subtle references to the classic cartoon mascot can be found throughout the design. The rear design successfully balances heritage and innovation, making it one of the most attractive aspects of the vehicle. Stepping inside the 2027 Plymouth Roadrunner reveals an interior that combines performance, luxury, and cutting-edge technology. The cabin immediately feels driver-focused, with every control positioned for maximum convenience and engagement.
A 200 mile per hour speedometer
Performance
and
buckets upholstered in premium leather and Alcantara.
11,000 RPM tach out of a big ass Hemi. Like back in the day in the 60s,
ventilation and multiple power
like that was
adjustments
rare.
for maximum comfort during long drives.
11,000
The
out of a
dashboard features
Hemi.
a fully digital 15-inch instrument cluster that provides customizable performance, information, navigation, and vehicle data. Drivers can switch between multiple display modes depending on their preferences. At the center of the dashboard sits a massive 17-inch touchscreen infotainment system. The system supports wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, voice controls, over-the-air updates, and advanced navigation features. The graphics are sharp, the response times are fast, and the interface feels modern and intuitive. A premium audio system delivers exceptional sound quality throughout the cabin. Ambient lighting offers dozens of color combinations, allowing drivers to personalize the interior atmosphere. High-quality materials cover nearly every surface, giving the Roadrunner a luxurious feel that rivals much more expensive sports cars. Rear seat passengers benefit from improved legroom compared to previous muscle cars, while the trunk provides enough cargo capacity for everyday practicality. This balance of comfort and performance makes the Roadrunner suitable for both daily driving and weekend adventures. Now let's talk about performance, because this is where the 2027 Plymouth Roadrunner truly shines. Under the hood, the standard model is expected to feature a powerful twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six engine, producing approximately 500 horsepower. This setup provides impressive acceleration, strong mid-range torque, and
So it's
excellent
basically a
responsiveness.
3-liter
For enthusiasts seeking maximum
S4,
performance,
Audi S4,
a high
that's
output
rear-wheel
version can
drive.
deliver over 700
That's not
horsepower.
bad,
Through an advanced
and it's
supercharged
unique to their
V8
designing
powertrain, this powerhouse would
heritage.
launch the Roadrunner from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3.5 seconds while delivering the thrilling sound and character that muscle car fans crave.
I wonder how
Power descent to the rear
GTR
wheels through
owners
an
are going
advanced
to receive
8-speed
this
automatic
car.
transmission, while an optional
And
all-wheel drive
Nissan
system
Z
enhances
owners
traction
are
and
going
stability.
to receive
Adaptive
this
suspension
car.
technology continuously adjusts damping settings to provide an ideal balance between comfort and performance. Multiple driving modes allow drivers to tailor the vehicle's behavior for different conditions, whether cruising on the highway, attacking winding roads, or exploring track day performance. The Roadrunner adapts to suit the situation.
Audi
Advanced braking
owners are
systems,
going to have their
performance
a run
and
for their money
aerodynamic
with this
enhancements
car.
ensure confidence at every speed. Fuel efficiency has also improved thanks to modern engine technology. lightweight materials, and advanced aerodynamics. This makes the Roadrunner more practical than traditional muscle cars while preserving its thrilling performance characteristics. When it comes to pricing, the 2027 Plymouth Roadrunner would likely start around $55,000 for the base performance model.
That's a steal.
Mid-level trims equipped with additional luxury and technology features could range between $65,000 and $75,000. Fully loaded high-performance variants with premium options and maximum horsepower could exceed $90,000. Considering the level of performance,
that's a ripoff,
technology and exclusivity offered, the Roadrunner would represent strong value within the modern muscle car segment.
You should just buy a Hellcat.
Directly against some of the most respected performance vehicles on the market.
But this is definitely a GTR slash Nissan Fairlady Z competitor.
So, what do you think about the 2027
All you need is to buy the base model.
If this legendary nameplate truly returned with this combination of stunning design, premium interior quality, cutting-edge technology, and breathtaking performance, it could become one of the most exciting muscle cars of the decade. It successfully blends classic American performance heritage with modern engineering and innovation. Thank you for watching The Car Future. If you enjoyed this detailed review, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest automotive reviews, future car concepts, and industry updates. Let us know in the comments whether you would choose the new Plymouth Roadrunner over its rivals. Until next time, drive safe and keep looking toward the future of automotive excellence.
Life can change in a minute.
Ha, mini commercial.
A few months later,
the motors that don't like revving past 3,000 RPM without crying like a little bitch.
Then your mother-in-law moves in to help. A lot can happen in a few years. Make sure your car keeps up with your life. Turo. Get a long-term rental without the long-term commitment.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing about this car is just how drivable it is. I just put my foot in it.
You see the front end lift? There's a red eye, motherfucker.
To the left, to the right, sharply. You hear just a shudder. None of that. It all seems really solid, really well put together, and it just lays the power down with such force. It's pretty amazing. This is a very tempting automobile.
Yeah, baby, you hear that supercharger? Louder than the SN95 Kidney Belt Cobra, baby.
Special car. This is the
and less valves too, and more horsepower. Ford, what you guys say to that, bro?
It was in the last call party they had in Las Vegas, where they brought it in on a helicopter and put it down on the track and just did incredible times with it. And it was doing it on alcohol. Now, people might say, oh, that's cheating. No, it's not, because if you go to a gas station, it's a flex fuel car. You can run E85 on it, and it will adapt to whatever percentage of alcohol is in it to give you the most power that you can. The computer does everything here. It's not like, oh, there's all kinds of trick stuff you have to do to get this time. You just have to know how to drive, and the car pretty much handles everything else. There's all sorts of fascinating different features on this car, like the wheels and some of the other things. We're going to find out right now from Tim Kuniskis. He's the CEO of Dodge. Tim, come on in. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Jay?
Well, thanks for inviting me to Vegas. That was a lot of fun. It was a great event.
This guy's more important
how are they going to make an entrance here?
to me and to the hot rodding community, even though they disqualified him from the NHRA. He's more important than Elon, bro. This guy did more than Elon.
But the day of the event, FAA said we were overweight, and they actually told us we couldn't do it. And we said, no, we got to have the helicopter. That's key to this whole thing. So we spent the whole day cutting the platform to get that down to weight so that we could bring it on the helicopter. That was important for us.
So was it like a pallet? What was it exactly?
It was on a big steel plate.
Right.
And what we didn't realize, we were underweight until we realized that the rotors were putting downforce on the exterior areas of the plate.
So I see. So the rotor itself was pushing the car down.
Oh, we couldn't meet weight. So we spent the whole day with a torch cutting that plate, the contours of the car. So if you watch the video, you see the plate looks very small for the car. We had to do that to make weights to bring it in. So,
well, how was it secured to the plate?
Well, it was just strapped down like you would strap it on a trailer with the wheels.
Yeah, all right.
It was high tech. We really thought through it.
Now these wheels, I don't recognize them. Tell us about the wheels.
The wheels actually are one of the enablers to the performance of this car. When we started working on the car, we had an intention to upgrade a Demon. What we ended up doing is actually creating a whole new car. Everything other than the sheet metal of this car is brand new.
Really?
Yeah, and the wheels were a key enabler. When we're looking for thousandths of a second, we needed every possible place to get it. The wheels are not just lighter. They're not just almost 30 pounds lighter. It's where the weight is. So the weight is centered in the middle, and the light part is the carbon fiber rim on the outside. It actually allows it to spin faster, like putting a lightweight flywheel on something.
Right.
So when this car starts moving, it accelerates crazy. It runs 60 foot times in the 120s, which is full-on race car time.
And what tire are these? Are these Demon specific tires?
We went to Mickey Thompson and we had these designed for this car. We wanted to take the flares off of the front, like we had on the original one, because that saved us 16 pounds in the most important part of the car for weight transfer. So we got 16 pounds off the front. They designed this tire to go with this wheel for us, but specifically what we really wanted was the back tire, because the back tire is really aggressive.
Right.
We've got a 17 by 11 on the back with a 315 Mickey with a ton of sidewall. Most people aren't used to seeing that much sidewall, but we needed it for traction.
Right.
We actually, there's so much traction with this combination, we had to completely retune the suspension to handle it.
Well, I like the fact you went to Mickey Thompson. Back when I heard that, it made me smile because we always tend to think Michelin.
Jay Leno.
Whereas Mickey Thompson
Jay, let's
was just
go.
An old school racer. Maybe perhaps younger viewers might not remember from the 60s, but he was the guy. He did land speed, he did drag, he did everything. I knew they were still around, but I didn't realize it was still that big. So it's kind of fun to see the Mickey Thompson name on the tire as well again.
We've sold 80,000 Hellcats. It's hard to believe. We sold 80,000 of them, but we looked at the people that were actually racing them. And what are they doing? Most popular things is they're running on the E85 for the detonation resistance, and they're running that tire combination. So we said, those are two things that we've got to have in the base plan, and then move from there and really tune it.
The E85 thing I found fascinating, just the fact that the computer does it all, because I thought, well, you buy one of these and you got to go and get a 5-gallon can and put it in. No, you have to do it. You just bolt to any E85 pump and you're fine, right?
You don't have to do anything to run this car.
Yeah.
When you get to the track, you don't need to change the wheels. You don't need to cool the car down because it has a chiller built in. And whatever range of alcohol you have in, like let's say you're driving to the track and you got a half a tank still of pump gas, and then you put in E85, the computer will tell you right on the screen, it'll say, based on the amount of alcohol you put in, you're at 77% alcohol. Not 85, but you're at 77.
Right.
And it will remap the engine for maximum power at that mixture.
Tell people about the chiller that you mentioned. That's really fascinating. I think that's such a clever idea. Tell them exactly what that means.
The chiller is something that we designed on the original Demon and we carried over to some of the other cars. And the intent there was on a supercharged application, you build a lot of heat.
Right.
We wanted to get as much heat out of the car as possible, the air charge. So what we did was we designed it so the air conditioner can actually chill refrigerant that's used to chill the intercooler. So you have a normal water to air intercooler, but then we super chill the water.
Right.
So when your car is driving around on a 90-degree day, your engine thinks it's at 75 degrees.
And of course, cooler gas means the molecules are closer together, so you get more power.
Much denser for more power.
Right. So that's why people fill up with gas in the morning rather than late afternoon if you're hot in California, because you actually get less gas because of the heat. Not much, but maybe a pint or a quarter, something like that. And it comes with a single seat, which really made me laugh. So when you buy this, you get a single seat, and you can get the optional passenger seat. I imagine does that pretty much bolt in and out pretty easy?
It does. It's pretty heavy, but it comes in and out pretty easy. What we generally see is people buying all the seats, and then if they go to the track, they take out the front seat, because the front seat's about 70, 75 pounds. Yeah. And you want to do that because if you buy it as a single seat application, we disable all the airbag systems.
Well, I love the seat. That's my favorite thing about this car. I always call it the Great American Road Trip car. Because if you're going to go to Vegas, this is what you want. You don't want some little Recaro bucket seat you're sitting like this. It's like a big, comfortable chair, and you just put your foot down and you go. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And, of course, it comes with the factory roll bar, correct?
We don't sell that as an option, but our direct connection high performance division sells it after the fact. So after you buy the car, then you can buy the roll bar.
Because to go to a track, if you're under 10 seconds, you got to have a roll bar.
They actually changed the rules. If you remember the original Demon, we were the first car that NHRA, not the first car, but we were banned because we were too fast for their specifications.
Well, that was my favorite thing. I remember they MHRA sent you a
That
letter
was my
saying, "I'm sorry,
favorite
the
thing,
car's
too.
fast, you can't run at the track."
See a bunch
And
of
they
old
used
guys
that
in
the
a
advertising, which I thought
hot
was
rod
good. Were they mad about
society that they think is secret ban a car for being a boss.
This is marketing gold. I love this. And the rule was if you ran faster than 10 seconds, you needed the roll cage, which we didn't have, so we got banned.
Right.
Then a couple years later, because the cars were getting so fast, they changed the rules and they said, okay, under 10 seconds is fine. You just can't go under 9 seconds. If you go under 9 seconds, then you need a cage and a parachute if you break 150 miles an hour.
Right.
So when we started working on this car, we said, well,
They
we know
obviously
we
haven't
gotta be
street
banned
raced
again. So we
one
gotta be
day in
8
their
seconds,
life.
and we got to be over 150
Right.
because we want to be banned again and we want a parachute.
Can they buy the parachute through Direct Connection?
Direct Connection sells the parachute as well.
I wonder if anybody's going to use that on the street. How long does it take to repack a parachute? You know?
Depends on how many times you've done it.
Yeah.
Me, that have only done it once, a long time.
Yeah,
because you're very nervous that you want to get it right. The guys that do it, they do it pretty quick.
And of course, it's got the 8-speed transmission, which the normal Hellcat has. Is it beefier or is it stronger?
This is actually the same one that we ran in the original Demon, but we completely changed how the trans brake works in this car.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty high tech the way we did this. The original trans brake was fantastic for performance,
Right.
but you had to really study it and practice it to get it to work, and people had trouble with it. So we changed the HMI on this one. On this one, you literally hold the paddle and your foot's on the floor. You're full gas and you release the paddle to launch the car.
Oh,
now,
okay.
now that's amazing because it's simple to use, but the problem with that is you're generally going to blow away the tires. If you're
Right.
not on a great track, great conditions, you'll blow away the tires. So we designed in here a system where you can go every 1/10 of a second and you can literally, on the head unit, pull out torque or pull it out in the shifts. So if you launch the car using the trans brake and you realize, hey, 15 feet out, I'm breaking loose the tires, or 1 to 2 shift, I'm breaking loose the tires. Go to the screen, go to the 1 to 2 shift, pull out a little bit of torque, run it again until you get it to hold, and then it's like a video game each time.
The brakes are Brembo, of course, as they always are.
Same brakes as we had before, and we're able to fit them in with the new package because we went to a 17 in the back this time, which was important.
And there's no, well, you can get a sunroof on this, right?
You can if you really, really want it.
But you don't
we'll
want
make it
people
for
to
you.
buy the sunroof.
You know, it's funny. On the original Demon, the sunroof is $5,000, and people still bought it. The problem with the sunroof is, look, I like sunroofs as much as anybody, but you're putting a lot of weight right here,
Right.
way above the center of gravity,
Okay.
and you want as much weight transfer as possible. So putting weight there is the last thing you want to do on a drag car.
And what's the sunroof? How much weight are we talking about?
This is about a little over 4,200, so 4,250, 4,275.
Yeah.
And then putting all that weight up here is the worst place to put it. So we
Right.
said, okay, if you want a sunroof, it's $5,000.
Right.
This time around, we really wanted to make the car as fast as possible. We were looking for thousandths of a second.
Right.
And when we were chopping weight, like taking the front flares off and going to the wheel's a really expensive wheel. Wheel, actually, we lose money on every single one of these wheels. Even though it's a high-priced option, we lose money. So we said, how are we going to make this wheel at least accessible to as many people as possible and still not lose a ton of money? So we said, make the sunroof $10,000. The money that we make on the sunroof offsets the wheels. So the guy that wants to go fast, the guy that bought the sunroof is paying for the guy that wants to go fast with the wheels. If you buy them both, then great.
Well, let's open the hood and show what we have under here. Let's see. Where's my same place?
Yep.
I love how Jay Leno is like
Now you don't
70 or 80 and he still hoons in high horsepower cars. Like that's just cool to me.
5 millimeters. It's a massive
And he
throttle.
does it on the street too. Like
Feeding into
he's like a kid.
We used on the Elephant.
Right.
So
A smart
lot of
one.
work was
A
done
very
here for the
successful
intake.
one.
What we found was when we did this, and we were able to take some more timing because of E85, our cylinder pressures went up to 2,500 psi. That is a massive amount of cylinder pressure. It's
Right.
actually 25% higher than we had on the original Demon on race gas. So all the stories you heard about us blowing up engines, people thought it was marketing. No, it's true. We were literally grenading these engines. A dyno cell caught on fire. We were blowing them up so bad. So this engine is completely new now. So new supercharger, new throttle body. We redid the heads so that we could use studs in the heads. And then redid the block machining, new crank, new pistons, new rods, new bearings. The only thing that carries over from the original is the camshaft. That's
Right.
it.
Like big K&N filter here, right?
You don't see it on this one because this is a pre-production car. This one has a red block, the
Right.
same that we had on the Demon, the same we had on the Red Eye. The actual production cars will have first time ever a yellow block.
So out of all these cars that are my soul car, my soul animal, because these are my soul cars, is a fucking Arapaima.
It was the first time and it was interesting.
That's the Copperhead, the Red Demon, the Barracuda. My soul animal is a fucking Arapaima.
So that's why I had the Hellcat logo with the red jewel, because it had the red block in it. So when we went to this, we said we're going to E85.
And I'm a Pisces, so it fits me.
So now the logo has the yellow jewel in it to tell you that it's got the yellow block in it. And the 170 neck tattoo tells you that it's 170 proof.
Why not carbon fiber?
That would have been a lot of development, and we would have had to re-crash test the car. There's a lot of expense in crash testing the car.
Oh, I guess that's you. Every time you change a part, you got to re-crash test the car, don't you? Okay. And that's a functional hood scoop, obviously.
The largest hood scoop we've ever done, and functional. This one's pre-production, so you don't see it here, but the actual production ones will say alcohol injected right here.
Oh.
Small little detail, but very cool.
As long as the driver's not alcohol injected, you're okay. Yeah.
You're okay then.
What's wrong with being alcohol injected, Jay?
That's all the same.
You don't like to have a little fun while you're driving?
The flares on the front, but essentially all the same. Everything is new about the car except for the sheet metal. Sheet metal's carry over, everything else is new. Driveline is all new, much larger drive shaft. Differential, we put a lot of time into the differential. We actually changed the case for more mounting area in the case, and we did a pressure casting. So it's not a billet housing, but it's a pressure casting. Right. So we took all the porosity out of the case. So the case and the gearing now is about 50% stronger than we had on the original Demon.
And how much pressure was that driver under?
Million people watched that live stream.
Wow.
And it was one take. We had the explosives behind him for one time. If he had to do it a second time, there was going to be no explosives, and we needed to catch that wheelie. So there's a lot of pressure, but he pulled it off.
Well, you know, it's so funny because I heard people saying, "Oh, as it happened, oh, they had the fireworks and explosions. So if it doesn't meet the time, that'll be the shot." Everybody had a reason why it wouldn't go under 9 seconds, you know.
And everybody's got an opinion until they see what actually happens in real life.
The second time was just for fun, to a big burnout the second time.
Yeah, well, no, but it was great. It was great. Well, can we take it for a ride?
Absolutely.
Okay. But there's only one seat, so I'm sorry, Tim. You'll have to stay here. Hey, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. And congratulations. It's really fun to see a car company focusing on the performance. I mean, obviously all the safety and all that is very important, but it's fun just to get back to the fun factor of the car. You know, especially all advertising now is, you know, it just makes me laugh. I always laugh when I see a Dodge commercial because I know there's going to be a burnout in it. It always makes me smile.
We did this car, if you think about the history of building these cars, we've sold, it's hard to believe, but we sold 2 million muscle cars since this current generation. 2 million and 1 billion horsepower.
Right.
So not that many people are going to get this car.
Right.
But it's just like watching a sports team. You may not play the sport, but you're going to wear the jersey.
Right.
We built this car to celebrate the brand that these 2 million people love.
Okay, before I take it for a ride, this shows you what a fan I am. We're going to, you know, I have these J. Leno car care products. And we're going to give away a kit, 6 bottles of all the car care products that we make in a special kind of carbon fiber box. It'll fit in the back here. Well, here's an example. See, we got the Demon logo on there. Anybody buys one of these, we'll give you the 6-bottle kit. We'll put it in the trunk.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun. So, very cool. Very cool.
That'll be one of those things that's part of the story many, many years from now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Maybe somebody will.
They should make a Roadrunner version like the red eye called the Arapaima after me.
Okay, well,
that would be
thanks for
fucking
making this
cool.
The muscle car brand. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay, let's go for a spin.
Should we celebrate?
We could. We could. Now this is how you celebrate.
You really know me, Denny. Like Progressive knows their 37 million customers.
If your car could talk, it would tell you to get Progressive.
When the morning routine is anything but routine, your smile is your strength.
Yes, no. Panera has a new thing called the salad stuffer. It's amazing. It's like salad stuffed in a soft Italian roll. No, it's like stuffed in the roll. Hey. New salad stuffers, only at Panera.
JCPenney has summer outfits like these for less than half the cost.
Why do they make know-it-alls seem like faggots? We're not faggots. I get pussy.
So, serious drag car this is. There are drag options on the screen. What do we have here?
This is really one of the key performance enablers of this car. And when you think about it, it's software. You know, people always want to talk about hardware and horsepower and stuff like that. People key into the horsepower. They say, well, it's got 1,025 horsepower. That's amazing. Yeah, that's great. That helps. But really the key to running those times and the 60-foot time of 124 60-foot time, really the key is not the power. It's really having the complete balance and getting the car off the line as fast as possible.
Right.
That's where this comes in. A rear-wheel drive car is always going to be harder to launch than an all-wheel drive car.
Right.
So we need to get maximum weight transfer. That's why the car does a wheelie. We want to get all the way to the back to get weight transfer. The other thing we want to do is we want to make
all
sure
the
we
way
don't spin
to
the
the
tires.
back it up.
It looks cool, but you go much slower. So we devised a torque management system. This is full-on race
torque
car
vectoring. Say correctly like the Germans.
And 30 feet out, you lose traction. Or maybe in the 1-2 shift, you lose traction. You can come back right from your head unit. This blue line here is going to tell you, I know where you are, I know what the temperature is, I know what the density is, I know what the maximum power output of this car is. Right here, it's showing just under 1,100 horsepower. You say, well, 1,100 horsepower, what does that mean? Well, you got to remember, we rate these cars under controlled conditions by the SAE. So yeah, it produces 1,025 horsepower.
Right.
But if you get to a cold track and low DA and below sea level air, it'll produce more than that because you got more dense air. So this says this is your maximum potential. But oh, don't you know, you're braking traction 30 feet out. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say, I want to go in and I want to actually manage that torque so I don't spin the tires. I think I'm about 0.3 of a second off of the starting line where I'm losing traction. I can go into that point and I can literally change my torque setting right there.
Wow.
Or I can say, you know what? I'm getting off the line great, but I'm breaking the tires loose on my 1-2 shift. I can go into my 1-2 shift. I can literally pull a little bit of torque out so I don't spin the tires. Nobody's got anything like this outside the race world.
Well, they always say horsepower sells cars, torque wins races, you know. And it's, so you're just managing the torque. So it's almost like an anti-lock brake. If it senses it's going to break loose, it backs off a bit, right?
Yep.
So you're constantly making traction. Boy, that's...
Come on, Jay. Don't try to be smart, dude. Just be yourself.
Through the shifts and through the torque curve.
Yeah.
All the way up to 1.66 seconds. So it'll get you past your 60-foot time. If you're spinning the tires past that point, you got some bigger problems to worry about.
And your 0 to 60 time is
1.66 with rollout. and people gave me a hard time about why you say rollout because you didn't say rollout in the original Demon. And it's true, on the original Demon we rated it with rollout and without rollout, but everyone is going to the with rollout. So you know what? If everyone is playing that game, I want a level playing field, and we're going to say what ours is with rollout. And the advantage to a car like this, the car launches so hard, that extra 10 to 12 inches of rollout can make a big difference.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. I mean, it really is about as high-tech as you can get. Well, very good, Tim.
If there's rollout, do you think a Dodge Demon would be on the Autobots with Optimus Prime rollout, bro?
Amazing. What other drag options are there?
So you can do the trans brake setup,
right.
And now you can actually have your foot completely on the floor, so you can dial in an RPM. So if the track can only handle 1,800 RPM, you can dial in 1,800 RPM, have your foot right on the floor, and launch the car with the paddle only.
Wow.
And then you have the traditional line lock that we've had for a long time.
Which is the front brakes.
The key to all this, though, is we tell the people that this is not a video game. You got to learn how to drive this car.
Right.
And I always make the analogy to a guitar player. Kenny Wayne Shepherd is a fan of the Dodge brand. He owns some of our cars. He's arguably one of the best guitar players in the world.
Right.
His guitar can perform. Just if I hand that to you, it doesn't mean you can play it like him, but you got to learn. Same thing with this car. You're not going to jump in the car and run those times. You got to learn it, set it up.
Very good. Hey, that's terrific. Thanks.
That sounds so good. Sounds better than Mark 7 GTI. Sounds better than VR6. Sounds better than Mustang Dark Horse.
This is hilarious.
Or GT. Yo. Yo.
Boy, you go through tires with this thing. I just kind of put my foot in it just a little bit at the light there, and then see these two huge stripes right behind me. Hilarious. It's hard to believe this is what a 4,200.
That's his catchphrase. Hilarious.
It seems
hilarious. 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 Who's Larry and why is he on a hill? And what's he jealous of? Hilarious.
What a torque monster this thing is. Jeez, it just pulls so hard. You know, there is no substitution for immaturity.
Amen. You could say that 100 times, write it into tension 100 times.
Wow. There you go. Get rubber in all 8 gears. Oh my God. And you know, it's just putting your foot down. I mean, there's no... You could burn these tires off in 10 seconds with this thing. Oh my God. You know what's so funny? I mean, I grew up in the era when you bought a Hemi car. It was big, it was clumsy, but it was fast. This thing seems like a ballet dancer. It seems, with all the electronics, it seems so light on its feet. It's hard to believe it's over 2 tons worth of car sitting here. I mean, it just... This engine just revs. Oh my God. Now, how often can you buy a production car that can do a wheelie? That's pretty good.
An affordable one, too.
Driving a car with this much horsepower, it doesn't always have a splitter in front that's hitting the ground and you're braking it. You know, I love my 350R Mustang, but I've got to about half a dozen splitters on the front end of that thing because you're just always braking it, you know, because it's so low. Whereas this thing has nice normal ground clearance. It's comfortable. It's extremely fast. I realized, you know, the Tesla Plaid can probably pretty much match it, but not with the sense of speed that you get from those tires breaking loose, you know, just hearing the engine bouncing off the limiter. I mean, it's just amazing. It's really a lot of fun. It's great, and it feels bulletproof. You know, the selling point to me is that computer that sort of analyzes the fuel and lets you know how much horsepower you can have so you don't detonate this motor. That's really brilliant. That's really brilliant. Because in the old days, you had to sort of open the hood and get under there and do a lot of changes, whereas this, it all does it automatically. You know, if you want to run straight E85 in it to get the full 1,025 horsepower, just put it in the tank. That's all you got to do. Boy, you hear that supercharger just whine. You know, Tim Kuniskis is a real car guy. I mean, he talks performance in front of everything else. You know, it's not, I mean, obviously sales and all that kind of thing, but he's such a car guy. Whatever tweaks he has to do to get this thing to turn out this kind of power, he will do. And that's pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can feel those tires wrinkle as they grip.
And the Terminator Cobra used to be a legend?
I'm not sure it's official, but I think this is.
It is a legend. It's mostly forgotten now because of the Hellcat. Legendary Terminator Cobra.
This is the world's fastest production car.
Pissant, Volkswagen Pissant of Ford.
It's not electric. And the greatest thing about this car is just how drivable.
And then they tried to resurrect it with the Dark Horse Mustang. Hellcat's still killing its competition.
Turn the wheel to the left or the right sharply, you hear
just a shutter, none of that. It all seems really solid, really well put together, and it just...
With 2 valves per cylinder, push rod motor. Like, the insults don't get worse for the other companies.
I suppose if you're going to go out, this is a good choice for last with the internal combustion engines. It's like that scene in Mad Max, the loss of the V8 Interceptors, you know, one of those deals. But this is the last of the V8 Interceptors. This is pretty cool. So I want to thank Tim Kaniskis for being the ultimate car guy and building pretty much the ultimate muscle car. I'll put my foot in it one last time. See you guys.
Understatement. I don't like it because of the cult following of the Hellcat. I like it because it's basic engineering that killed its competition. That's why I like that car. I'm not like a jerk-off Hellcat fan.
The most frat boy crazy brand out
I
there.
like it because of the
We're also gonna talk about
engineering.
Plymouth, since they were pretty much the same thing. Number 1. When describing reliable and tough vehicles, the word dependability is often thrown around by automakers. Well, that word was actually invented by Dodge. You see, back in 1914, Theodore McManus, who worked in Dodge's marketing department, thought the word dependable was way too boring. So McManus started using dependability in Dodge's promotional campaigns, which quickly caught on. In fact, dependability became so commonly used that it was put into the dictionary in the late 30s. Number 2. The Dodge Demon only came with one seat as standard, and yes, it was obviously the driver's seat. With that said, you could still get the passenger seat as an optional extra, and that option cost $1 single. But wait,
That's like my $3 Reeboks from Boscov's. It don't get better than
money
that.
wasn't an issue, you could pay another $1 to get rear seats put in, and it didn't end there. For another $1, Dodge would give you their drag racing kit, which included a performance control module that gave you a 32 horsepower boost, drag wheels and tires, tools, and a lot more. I think Dodge should really consider going on the Caleb Hammer show, because this is not financially smart. Number 3. The Challenger has cup holders inside the engine bay, so you could have a beer while working on your car. This solidifies
That's
the
the
fact that it's
perfect
a
car
made
for me.
bros by bros.
Fucking sober living
Have you
community.
ever wondered why NASCARs don't have any crazy spoilers or splitters? Well, that's all Dodge's fault. Let me explain. Back in 1968, Dodge announced their all-new Charger 500, which was supposed to be the fastest car in the sport thanks to a little thing they had just discovered called aerodynamics. But before they could bask in the glory of their new groundbreaking discovery, Ford decided to steal their moment with the Torino Talladega, which was far superior aerodynamically, and it ran laps around the Charger 500. But instead of crying about it, Dodge decided to go all in by convincing Daddy Chrysler to send a few scientists from their rocket division to Dodge's racing facilities, because the race to the checkered flag was more important than the race to the moon. And after a few months of development, Dodge came out with the Charger Daytona in 1969,
The OG.
which was fast as hell, and it became the first car to ever hit 200 miles per hour in NASCAR, thanks to its flushed rear window, pointy front end, and massive 23-inch tall rear spoiler. The Daytona was so good that it pretty much won every single race it entered. This whole thing was really exciting for the fans, and everyone thought the 1970s
Is this
season
why
would
the
be all-out
NHRA
war.
disqualified them? They're butthurt about the
Came out and pretty much banned all
1969
aero from the
NASCAR
sport
results?
because they thought that it was only a matter of time before the manufacturers all went crazy, making the sport more dangerous than it already was. And just like that, the legend of the Daytona ended as quickly as it started. Number 5. The logo of the Demon 170 has a 170 neck tattoo, because the original Demon logo was nowhere near crazy enough to represent just how stupidly absurd this 1,000 horsepower muscle car actually is. Number 6. The first generation Dodge Viper didn't have door handles. Seriously, the only way you could get in was to reach into the car and open the door from the inside, which you could do at any time, because the car didn't have a roof, windows, or door locks. Number 7. Let's be honest. The only reason we love Dodge is their powerful and loud Hemi V8s. But technically, Dodge hasn't put a Hemi in a car since 2003. I know, hear me out. The name Hemi is short for hemispherical, which refers to the shape of the combustion chamber. But back in 2003, Dodge flattened their combustion chambers to make their engines more efficient. Now, I'm no scientist, but if you remove the hemispherical shape of a hemispherical engine, do you really have a Hemi? Number 8. Dodge's brand new logo, which was announced back in 2022, is actually 62 years old, and it's called the Fratzog, which means nothing. It was a random name that one engineer came up with as a placeholder until they could find a better name. But apparently, no one was able to come up with a better name than Fratzog, so they decided to just keep it. Number 9. If you go full throttle in a Hellcat, you can drain the entire tank in just 15 minutes. Number 10. In the year 1900, John Francis Dodge and Horace Elgin Dodge established the Dodge Brothers Company to manufacture parts for other car companies, which turned out to be really lucrative, especially due to their partnership with Ford, because at that time, Ford had just started selling the Model T, which was the first mass-produced car in the world, meaning the Dodge brothers were making a crap ton of parts every single day. But their relationship went sour really fast, because Henry Ford suspected that the brothers wanted to take what they learned from Ford to start making their own cars, which was especially bad since Henry Ford chose to pay them with shares in the company instead of cash, meaning that if the brothers sold their shares, Henry Ford would basically be funding their venture, while also diluting his position in his own company. So he started going on the offensive, and he threatened to start another company to go out of giving the brothers their shares. In response, John and Horace took Henry to court, winning the case and forcing Henry to pay them $25 million in shares, which was more than enough for the brothers to start selling their own cars in 1914. Number 11. In 1915, General George S. Patton of the United States Army used 3 Dodges to attack a major figure in the Mexican guerrilla army, which was a massive deal, because that was the first ever time a motorized vehicle was used in combat. A couple of months later, the first ever tank was invented. Number 12. In 2004, Dodge offered the SRT-10 package for the Ram 1500, which included sporty wheels, bumpers, a fixed spoiler on what was supposed to be a working bed, and the V10 from the Viper. But what's funny is that option cost $22,000, while the truck itself also cost $22,000. I've never seen a package cost the same as what the package was applied to. Number 13. Now, if you've ever unfortunately been surrounded by Dodge people, you will notice the word Mopar being thrown around like crazy, sometimes even when they're talking about their love lives. Well, Mopar is actually short for Chrysler Motor Parts, and the word Mopar itself was first used on antifreeze bottles, which was quite fitting since antifreeze was invented by Chrysler. Number 14. Plymouth paid Warner Brothers $50,000 to use the name
Volkswagen Audi Group fans, invented by Chrysler.
Number 15. Dodge has a long history in Hollywood.
Water-cooled H2O International Brothers.
There wasn't a good movie or show without a Dodge in it. But one franchise in particular stood out. The Dukes of Hazzard, which really helped Dodge from a marketing standpoint, especially since the orange Charger used in the show, the General Lee, pretty much became the main character. But if we're being honest, the Dukes of Hazzard hurt the Charger more than anything, because during the 7-season run of the show, they went through hundreds of Chargers. Like, they were destroying a Charger every week, and they pretty much created a shortage of Chargers across Georgia and the surrounding states, which is where the show was filmed. At some point, it got so bad that the producers would ride around in helicopters looking for cars to buy. But they didn't stop there. When Chargers became more expensive due to them almost going extinct, they started using AMC Ambassadors, which kind of looked like Chargers from some specific angles. But thankfully, right as they created a shortage of Ambassadors,